It's Reid here with a update on what's going on in the real estate market from a little different perspective. We're looking at the big picture of nationally and as well as the state of Washington and how doing real estate transactions may change. Last Friday, the National Association of Realtors announced a settlement they'd reached with over a class action lawsuit which they lost last year. So that class action lawsuit was brought against the National Association of Realtors and a couple of real estate companies, stating that it wasn't fair for a seller to be paying the buyer's agent's commission, number one, and number two, saying that the National Association of Realtors had conspired to fix real estate commissions. And they lost to the tune of a multi-billion-dollar settlement. Now, of course, it's being appealed, so they still had time to negotiate. So they've come to a settlement, and they announced that on Friday. Now, it is contingent upon being approved by the courts as well as the U.S. Attorney General's office. But assuming that it is approved, and I'm thinking they've done their homework and their attorneys have been talking to a lot of people to come to this agreement, there are two big changes that are happening to the way real estate transactions are going to be conducted in this country. The first one does not affect us here in Washington because it was already the law of the land here, and it went into effect in January. So that one is that every real estate agent must negotiate and have a signed buyer's agency agreement with their clients, explaining what services they're providing, how much they're going to be paid, and how they're going to be paid. Now, Washington State has seen this lawsuit coming, and they've been working on it. We've been adjusting our real estate contracts for the last several years, and as of January 1st of 2024, this was the new rule. This was the law. Real estate agents who do not have that contract signed do not get paid. And I have news for you, but I do this to pay my bills so I can pay my mortgage and put food on the table and take care of my family, not for charity. I love working with all of you, and I've made some amazing connections and friends in this business, but I still have to pay my bills just like you do. So I don't work for free. And none of the other agents that I know work for free. So the other side of this that does affect us, and we're going to see starting January 15th, the second part of this settlement is, and understand, listen to the words, a seller may not offer a buyer's agent's commission in the multiple listing service. They're restricting where you can advertise that commission. They are not telling us that a seller cannot offer a commission. They're not even saying we can't offer money to a buyer that they can use for whatever they want to in the multiple listing service. So one, you can still advertise a buyer's agency commission outside of the multiple listing service. Number two, you can offer a seller's concession for a fixed number of dollars or a percentage of the sale price to a buyer in the multiple listing service, and it's up to the buyer to choose what they want to do with that money. They could use it to pay their real estate agent, they can use it to buy down points, they can use it to pay their closing costs. This happens all the time in real estate transactions, that sellers give a concession to the buyer to help pay for repairs, for closing costs, for points to buy down their interest rate. All those things happen all the time. So how is this going to affect the real estate market? Number one, do we not need to pay buyer's agents anymore? Well, I suppose you could hire a buyer's agent that's willing to work for free, but I'm pretty sure you're going to get exactly what you pay for. So I don't think that's very viable. Does it mean that sellers do not need to offer some kind of compensation to a buyer's agent outside of not in the MLS listed as a buyer's commission? You do not have to. However, at least in our regional market, I can say that in my experience, a lot of buyers are coming in with a limited amount of funds, fairly quite limited sometimes, of cash in their pocket to close the transaction. So if as a seller you say, I'm not offering anything to a buyer, help a buyer out with that, you are going to eliminate a big chunk of your buyers that are potential buyers for your home. So that's a conversation we can have another time and get into more ins and outs of it. I just wanted to give you guys some information while it's fresh. It's been it's been in all the media. It's been on TV. It's in the Wall Street Journal. It's in the Seattle Times. It's all over the place on social media. And so I just want you to know what the ins and outs of that settlement. There will be a lot more conversation about it. And, as your real estate professional, I am here to answer your questions and try to give you as much clarity on what's going on in the real estate market, both in what's going on with selling and actual individual houses and interest rates in the buyer's market, as well as what's going on in this bigger picture, in this big legal landscape. So I wish you a fabulous Whidbey Island day, and I look forward to talking to you in the very near future.